LastPass's network breach. Of course, the press went crazy, and my Twitter feed was literally useless yesterday because, I thank everyone for making sure that I knew.
Steve, did you know? Had you heard? Did you know? There was a problem. Did you hear that?
Yeah. And in fact, what Joe said to PC World was they dramatically underestimated the media's reaction to his blog posting and the email they sent out. Turns out that LastPass has grown so popular and they had so many people to notify that it became very difficult to get the mail out, and so they used an Amazon service, and they're going to use Amazon's scalability moving forward.
Well, let's give some practical information here. What do you recommend for people to do who are LastPass subscribers? Should they change their email?
No. Okay. Okay, so the point is only by being a target of an attack are you in danger. So you want to do two things. You absolutely need to change your LastPass master password, because if this data got out, if you were targeted, if you had a weak password, and if they could figure out how many iterations to use, then they would be able to confirm the password that you were using on LastPass and have your email address, therefore being able to impersonate you to LastPass and get all of your LastPass login authentication. So you absolutely want to change your master LastPass password.
Right, I did that. Of course, I promptly forgot what I changed it to, but that's another matter.
And many people, it happens to many people.
It's really easy to do, especially because you're using a long. The real challenge is you want to come out with a really nice, random, long password, but you also want to be able to kind of recreate it. And I use poetry, the first letters of lines of poetry. But I misremembered the poem, apparently. So now I have very difficult. But that's okay. Others have had this problem too, I'm sure.
For what it's worth, many people had the problem. There are instructions at LastPass for reverting to your previous forgotten password if that happes.
Is that a safe thing to do? I'm surprised he even offers that, to be honest.
I am too, but I think unfortunately, these are all the problems that we have. Last week when I demonstrated clicking the QR code, someone in the chat room said, "How is that better than the browser memorizing my password?" And it's like, oh my Lord, what we're doing is we're shoring up an existing horribly broken system with one attempted solution on top of another. And so this whole issue, we've got to the point now where we have to use different passwords for every site, so no one can remember those. So we have to use a password manager, but we're also using different computers and different devices, so we need synchronization. So that means that synchronized database needs to go into the cloud. And now,
that's the problem, by the way. If you didn't need synchronization, you could just have an encrypted file on your desktop. If you didn't care if anybody else saw it, you wouldn't need to do that. But synchronization is what we want, and that's the problem.
Yes, and how many times have we been saved by LastPass keeping things synchronized? Right. Because we do change a password over on some device on some site, and it's almost a miracle. I mean, it's wonderful that then you later go to a different computer and it knows how to log you on there.
I'm kind of lucky because I have two LastPass accounts. We have an enterprise account, and I have my personal account. And I had merged my personal account into the enterprise account, which you can do. You can, for ease of use, if you have an enterprise account, you can have both your LastPass accounts. And I had done that. So I changed the enterprise password, saved that, thank goodness, for my enterprise account. And everything's in there. So the fact that I can't get into my personal account is not really a problem anymore. Let me ask this.
So my answer is, for your LastPass master password, it needs to be something big and random, and you have to write it down.
Put it somewhere.
And I don't mean it literally. You have to record it.
Yeah.
So like do cut and copy and paste and put it somewhere else. Put it somewhere, maybe print it out or maybe put it in some other place which you feel is secure.
The problem is, because of synchronization, you need it on all the other devices too. So you have the same problem.
Or maybe put it in your wallet, but also make some change to it. Don't have it be the exact one. Leave out, change a digit.
That's a good idea.
Yep, and when it doesn't work, then you'll remember. Oh, that's right. The last digit is actually.
Is there a better solution? Is this mean that we shouldn't be using LastPass?
No, I don't think anybody had. Okay, so in some subsequent postings, Joe acknowledged that some lessons were learned. And so, for example, one of the things they're going to do is they're going to rely more heavily on Amazon server scaling so that they're able to scale their performance to better deal with this kind of surge in everybody needing to do something massively computational burdensome at once. And I got the sense that they're going to do some additional network segmenting. Ultimately, that's really what you want. We've talked about this like in the Sony hack, where one of the horrible things about that was that apparently everything was available on a single network. So where your network is about security, as is the case with LastPass, rather than about convenience, which was the case with a bunch of entertainment people in Hollywood at Sony Pictures, there it really makes sense to put to separate networks. It means that it's less convenient, but wow, ultimately it's probably what you have to do. When the reality is everybody makes a mistake, as that cartoon at the top of the show said, despite your firewalls and your antivirus and your everything, you still got Dave, who is going to click on the link in the email from his mother and infect his computer, and he's in a trusted network in a company that's all about trust. So my point is, to answer your question, I'm not leaving. I'm staying with them. I mean, I've always thought it was sort of odd that oftentimes employees are fired when they make a mistake that taught them a lesson, because you've just lost somebody who knows more than they knew before, and you're going to replace them with somebody who hasn't learned that lesson, and hasn't been chastised. So I've never understood that. I mean, malice is one thing, goodbye, but a mistake, that happens. So, all of their technology is bulletproof. For example, there is nothing I can think of that they could have done more, obviously, except not have this happen. But given that it's happened, the environment that it has happened in is as secure as anything I could imagine. And look at how diminishingly small the risk even now is. It is incredibly difficult for someone to obtain one person's password, maybe, which they've probably changed and hopefully didn't use anywhere else, because the whole point of LastPass is you don't have to use the same password everywhere. And LastPass gives you auditing facilities to look at all the passwords you're using that it's storing for you and verify that they're unique. So, I mean, it's not, maybe they were trying for more and this is all they got and they're not happy. I mean, maybe nothing's going to even be done with this. So again, from a practical standpoint, I can't think of anything more they could have done. Users should change the LastPass password and also change other sites' passwords if you were using them also with LastPass.
Never do that again.
Right.
You should also turn on two-factor. I mean, I didn't feel the need to change my master password. I did, but I feel like
two-factor doesn't help you here.
It doesn't help you.
Notice I didn't mention it at all.
Okay, tell me about that.
Two-factor is orthogonal to this. This is all separate. Two-factor comes in after you've authenticated yourself. So it would prevent a bad guy from logging in with your with your old LastPass password if you did not change it. So that part is useful, but it does not. But the two-factor still allows them to do this attack and determine what your LastPass password was. So if you did have second factor, you're safe from being from them logging in as you, but you're not safe if you reuse that password anywhere else.
But you shouldn't have been reusing it.